Hey, mathletes. Here we are in our next lesson. This one in set theory is about intersections and unions. Let's just think about these words and what we normally use them for in real life. Intersection, if I'm driving, I'm thinking of it where maybe two streets cross, right? I'm going to say maybe that's where the two streets overlap. A union, well, think of a union in real life. A union is a group of people that are coming together for some reason. So maybe I want to think of that as I'm getting bigger. I'm grouping things together, right? I'm getting bigger. So I'm grouping together. That's how we would maybe think of those in real life. Well, what does that tell us when we're in this fancy unit called set theory? Well, let's go take a peek. Consider the following two sets. Whole numbers, so I need you to know whole numbers start with 0, my friends. Whole numbers less than 20 that are divisible by 3, okay? 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And make sure you get that 0 there because 0 divided by 3 is 0. Whole numbers less than 20 that are divisible by 5. So 5, 10, 15, and I'll see a lot of people on a question like this write the number 20, but I need to be careful. It says less than 20, so I'm going to remove that. So just, again, you got to be careful when you're reading these little sets. Okay, what do we got? List the elements that are in both of these sets, that are in both set A and in set B. So the overlap, well, what do I see for an overlap here? I see just that element right there of 15. So just the set of 15. So the overlap that are in both, this is known as the intersection. It is the set of elements which are a member of both the sets. I mean A and B. And our symbol for this is an upside down looking U. The way to write that again in words is A and B. So the word and, I need you to know, means intersection. Hey, not so bad, right? Where we overlap. B, list all of the elements that are in set A or B. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to list what are in both of these sets. So 0, 3, 5 always helps your teacher if you can keep it in some sort of order for them, right? Okay, again, 15 is in there twice, but I'm not going to write it twice. I'm just going to write it once. Okay, that's the elements that are in A or B or both. This is again known as the union. It's the set of elements which are members of set A or B. We're really combining these sets. The symbol for this, conveniently enough, is U for union. And again, this is the same as writing it this way, A or B. All right. Now, like we did in the last lesson, it's always handy to draw these things in a Venn diagram. So I always draw my box. It's the universe. I've got A, I've got B, I've got my universe of less than, whole numbers less than 20. And so when I go to draw this time these sets overlap. And in the middle here is that number 15. In A, what's just in A here? Well, I got to scroll back up because I don't remember the numbers that are divisible by 3. See, I should have had another coffee before I did this video. So it would be all these. That's always my excuse. I always need another coffee. Okay, that's the elements that are in only A. Well, what elements are in only B that are divisible by 5? 5 and 10. Now, at first glance, it looks like I've completely answered this. I've filled in the Venn diagram. But what I need you to notice is there's elements that aren't in either A or B. So what about the numbers 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 11, 13, 14, 16. Oh, I've got to go start going sideways up the page here. 17, 19, 20. Like there's, oh, not 20 because we're less than 20. Like there's a lot of elements out here. So I need you to remember this. This is in a very important region right there. All right. So what do we have? What I need you to think about is the different regions as you're doing this. So I've got one labeled for us already. The elements only in set A. That's this moon right here. I'll shade it in light blue. That's only A only. Let's go bright red over here, this side, and shade it. That would be only B only. In the middle, let's go neon green in here. That would be A and B. A intersect B. Out here, this bottom arrow, let's go pretty violet. This out here, well, these are the elements that don't belong to neither A or B. So one way we usually write this in 30-2 is we would say not A or B, like that. So I want you to be able to break these things down. And if I asked you for the union would be all of this right there. So the dark green there would be the union. Let's try another one. On the diploma, it's very common for us to have a question that just asks us to pick the shaded region. So ask you to shade the proper regions, A and B. Well, A and B would be right there. A or B. I'm in A, or I'm in B, or I'm in both. That's the union. Not A, which I could also write as A prime. How I like to do that is I like to circle A like that, and not A is everything on the outside of it, like that. Not A. Not so bad. Pun intended. All right, last question, friends. So I give you a couple sets here, P and Q. I have no idea why I labeled those P and Q, because they're cool letters. Use the Venn diagram to list the members of the following sets. Okay, P. Well, P is 2, 8, 9. Don't forget the 10. Just because it's also in Q, it's still a part of P. Q, 7, 10, 29. P and Q, well, that's the intersection or the overlap. So that's simply just 10. P or Q, the union. So that's us putting P and Q together. So it's 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 29. So the union, putting things together. Not P, that's everything outside this blue circle here. So not P is going to be 7, 29, but don't forget these two down here, 11 and 16. Not Q, okay? Well, not Q is everything outside of Q. So 2, 8, 9, and don't forget the 11 and the 16, whatever they're doing hanging around out there. It gets a bit more complicated when we start writing things as symbols here. So what does this say? This says not P or Q. So I'm not in P or Q. Well, P or Q, let's figure that out first. Let's go hot pink. Well, P or Q is these two circles put together. So not that is everything on the outside. So what's on the outside? 11 and 16. There it is. Okay, let's do our very last question. What do we got? Again, the symbols maybe make it look a little bit more complicated than it is. What does this say? This says not P and Q. Okay, well, let's figure out what P and Q is. P and Q is this region right here in the middle. So not that is everything out here. So there's a lot of elements in this one. I'll try and get them in order, but I'll probably screw it up. 2, 7, 8, 9. See, I told you I'd screw it up. I can't write and talk at the same time. 2, 7, 8, 9, 11, and 16. There it is. So your terminology for today's lesson, intersection, union, and, or, and don't forget prime, the complement. See you next time, friends.